What is going on, everyone? This is your man King May coming back with you all right here in the King May YouTube channel. You all, this is the start of Ashton Corners playthrough slash survival. Essentially, we have a question to answer, and that is, can we create from scratch with only $1 million a successful dairy farm? We're going to find out here, so make sure that you go ahead and like this video right now. And if you have not yet already, go ahead, click that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell, because you're going to want to stay strapped in to watch this series as we do a little bit longer style playthrough. And we're going to see if we can answer that question, but we need to get started here. And as you can see in the top right corner, we only have $1 million. And I've already kind of scoped out a little bit of a plan, which is most likely going to run us into some debt immediately, at least at the start. And we got to see if we can climb out and get to being able to buy cattle and having a successful dairy farm here. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to go in. I'm going to show you guys our settings that we are doing if you wanted to play along with, as most every single mod that I have that you see. You can either go to itch.io or the in-game mod hub. So for starters, we're going to go with game settings. I do have time turned way down for right now, and go ahead, comment down below if you guys want me to play this on economic difficulty of hard. I'll switch it and make it even harder yet. Just let me know. But for right now, we are going to go with seasonal growth. Obviously, days per month, we're going to do 2, because that seems to be just fine with the new time scale that 25 has. And obviously, we're in Wisconsin, we need snow. Now, we are going to do crop destruction, periodic plowing. I did turn fieldstone off. I don't necessarily need that. Maybe we can turn it on later if we go to build a house or something like that, so we can do cement. But for right now, staying off. Lime required, yes. Weeds, yes. And of course, disasters. If we get a tornado rolling through, it's going to hurt. Other than that, the rest is pretty standard. And I did go ahead with the AI workers and just turn everything off, so we have full control of our money, and we're not just draining it if I do need a hand of having somebody help me on the farm. So the next thing we need to do, and I'm going to apologize right now that I am on an ultra-wide monitor, so I'm going to constantly keep this centered up for you guys as best as I can and make it so that you guys can see this balance, because otherwise for me to get the numbers at the top, I'm going to have to kind of custom do it, which I can. But a lot of this, I want you guys to be able to just sit back and enjoy, and we'll worry about finances when we need to. But we need a farm, so let's go ahead and start with that. So if you guys have Ashton Corners and you want the big dairy farm, in order to purchase it, you click on this here 59, which is $135,860, and just like that, we have less money in our account. So now we have a farm, and we need to get the land around the farm. So we're gonna kind of get painful right off the bat, and I've got a plan that, yes, we are gonna run into debt, but we are gonna do this. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get each one of these. Here's, call it 12,000, and 23 here. Just all these strip fields, we got 19,154. We're gonna go ahead and get that. We'll get this guy for 17,192. 26, there's another 28 grand, and I definitely want to go ahead and get this one as well. $95,000 for alfalfa. This should continue to regrow, so we'll have a decent amount of alfalfa right off the bat to be able to sell those bales. And the reason being is, if I come on over here and we scroll down to check out the, should be this one, I believe, if we sell the bales of the dry alfalfa windrows right there.
Nice.
So we should be getting some decent money, as well as like corn stock bales. I would like to do that, so get those sold, and if we can, soybean straw as well. So back to the map, we're gonna hold off on the big field that is a bit pricey, and I'm trying to keep ourselves about 500k, and I'll show you why. For our equipment, we'll try to do as minimal as we can with the equipment, but we're gonna go ahead 69 grand, we're gonna get that one, and $106,000. There we go. It's a decent start, quite a bit of ground. Yeah, we're gonna get some good money flowing in, but again, dairy farms don't usually make a whole lot of money, so you gotta remember, at some point we are going to have to buy more ground in order to have enough for feed for cattle and or pigs, if we don't buy the feed for the pigs. So we're going to need quite a lot of ground in order to do that, and we're going to need some bigger equipment to do that efficiently as we can. Now, with that being said, we have $516,000 left in our account, and well, we're going to need a little bit of overhead for seeds. So I'm going to go ahead and start looking into our equipment here, and I'm going to apologize because as soon as I go into custom customize. I'm not really going to be able to show it. It's kind of offset off the screen, but I had my eyes set on a particular 8010 series that is going to cost a bit more, but can pretty much do everything that we need it to do. And I think we're going to go that route, and we'll look at and evaluate maybe some old iron, like a case or some sort of 4E series at the end to maybe get a second rig off the bat. But I kind of want one tractor to do it all right off the bat. And just like that, we got ourselves an 8410 for $99,700. Now, yes, I did take out a little bit of the role play aspect. I kind of want to play this one a bit more of just how am I playing the game and how can you guys try to mimic if you wanted to, or learn from my mistakes if you're doing your own playthrough. So we have one big horse on the farm, or at least big for us for right now, but we need to kind of continue on, and we need to worry about harvest right now because harvest is upon us, and I have my eyes set on a particular way of cheating. Oh, it's going to be painful off the start, but I tell you what, for $45,000 off the bat, which we are going to bump it up to the N7 series, I think this one is going to end up being our starting rig. Again, it's going to be painful off the bat, but we're going to work ourselves up on equipment first and then animals. So I'll take it. With the upgrades we did, we're looking at $56,000 flat. We're down to $356,401. And looking at our map currently, just to toggle our soybeans on and off, it looks like the only strip of soybeans we have is right here. Otherwise, we have all corn. I was hoping to cheat it by only having to get a corn header off the bat, but it looks like we're gonna have to go ahead and get both right away. But at least for right now, we're just gonna start with a corn header. We'll look at maybe we just lease the bean head for the year. We'll see what's going on. But $63,500, and we have ourselves a folding header. Oh, this thing is going to be a unit. It is going to be weird though, because I went a little bit cheaper with the 8-row header, so it is going to be a bit more painful at the start because we are going to get a 12-row planter, but I'm purposely doing that because I kind of want to end with a 12-row planter, not unless we get to a point that we can get a 24-row, but I think at the start that's just what we're gonna do. An 8-row is gonna be a little bit painful for harvest, and then we'll rock the 12-row planter. But we're gonna park that girl for right now just to get her out of the way. And with corn harvest upon us, we're gonna need some way to transfer our crops to get them sold. Now, I could spend the money on a semi, and in doing so, I could spend the money on some cheaper Wilson trailers that are a little bit smaller, like this Wilson that is a bit smaller. And again, I apologize for the offset with the widescreen transferring onto a smaller one for your guys' enjoyment. And just taking a look at the other ones I have, I do have a super cheap Dakota trailer. So I guess comment down below, let me know, because if we do this route, which I can get this Dakota trailer for awfully cheap, 19 grand, which would make life quite a bit easier, I will agree. However, then we got to invest at least 45 grand into just some basic semi to be able to tow that. And at the moment, I was trying to kind of save that money. So at least for right now, we're just going to go ahead and we're going to snag ourselves. I'm thinking two of these Parker gravity wagons, because for 2 of these I can haul about, looking at it, the J&Ms are quite a bit nicer, but they are quite a bit more expensive. We got that Brent for 20 grand though too. You know what, I'm thinking we save the money. Let's get 2 for right now. There we go. That's with the extensions, we're at $11,800. Let's go ahead, let's get 2 of those. All right, so now with those 2 trailers, we are down to $267,000. Now we're gonna need money next year for seed, for fertilizer. But as doing this a playthrough, well, I can kind of get away with some things. And what can we get away with? Well, as far as I'm seeing, if we go ahead and we open up the finances tab, we can go in and we can check out things like, well, corn. Let's say I don't even worry about any like cord drying or any of those things because I disabled those mods. So just basic corn. I am looking at this graph and I'm seeing that in January, we have a high spike of what is projected for selling corn, which is great for us in the wintertime we can haul our corn and get our yields profiting for us before this spring. And we want to keep things basic at the start as far as just kind of doing cash cropping. So I'm going to kind of leave us an overhead with seed when it comes to our profit from this fall. Plus, we have things like corn stalks that we can also sell in January, soybean straw that sells in January, and alfalfa bales that look like about January. So it looks like this winter we can honestly get ourselves paid out pretty quick here. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to kind of worry about harvesting our fields, the few fields that we have right now, and getting our gravity wagons hooked up. There we go. We're set. We got something to haul our grain back to the farm, stored in our bins for the winter time, and to be able to haul down to sell. So pulling this one up as well, we're going to get ourselves ready for corn harvest here. All right, so now we're looking, what else do we have to get? Well, I've got alfalfa right now that needs to get off. Eventually, we are going to have to get some tillage equipment too, and I've got some plans for that. Obviously, we need a planter, but maybe we wait on the planter until spring and kind of see where we're sitting, what do we need to do. But I've got alfalfa in the fields that we need to make some money from. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to pull up the mowers, and I do want to actually get ourselves a riding lawnmower, Craftsman riding lawnmower here eventually anyways. But for right now, and even as cheap as that is, for right now, what I'm worried about is the difference on pricing, which doesn't look like it's much. And I ended up going with the John Deere. So we stuck with the John Deere. It is a little bit cheaper for the New Holland disc mine. This was an older one, but I kind of wanted to check out the new John Deere mower. So there's another additional 23 grand gone right there. So we're down to 243, and we need a tedder because we need to be able to make hay, whereas you know between 22 it's the same in 25. If you guys don't know how to make hay, I do have a video on my channel for how to make hay in FS22. Go ahead and check that out. It's the same exact thing on FS25. So knowing that, we need to be able to windrow our hay together, but we also need to be able to dry it. And I'm gonna see if this helps us out right here for $19,000. I'm gonna see if this rake will rake and ted our hay for us. This is going to be kind of a test. It's either that or the mod just simply got made and put in the wrong category. But for $19,000, I'm going to go ahead and roll the dice. And we'll leave that for right now. And worst case scenario is if that doesn't ted, well, then we already have our rake and we need to get ourselves an additional tedder to do that work to dry our alfalfa. Now, I also have ourselves a bit of a dilemma, and that is round balers. Because aside from the other cool round balers I have in here, I do have round balers with accumulators. But I don't want to spend $83,000 right now quite yet on a baler. So we're also going to save ourselves money with a John Deere 535, very small old school round baler. So we're going to go that route for much, much cheaper. And now we need some way to transport our bales, and to do so we're probably going to need a truck or a trailer of some sort. I could do our tractor if I did some sort of a bale trailer like this, but I kind of have something else in mind, and I think it falls in line with fall in this line. We need ourselves a truck so we can kind of have a trailer for multi-use, for picking up seed, for things like that. So I think we save ourselves some monies with this here 2015 Ford F350, because as of right now, that's about the cheapest thing I have in here. Other than the old International, I think we do it. I think we go this route. So there we go, $26,000 and change. We have ourselves a white Ford F350. Now I need some sort of a trailer, and I kind of have one in mind. Now, I do have in a different section a very, very nice by JJ Modding, who also made a really nice Ford, which I would love to buy eventually. We don't have the money for it yet. And I don't know if we want to necessarily spend 35 grand on a trailer right now anyways. So we're going to go this route instead. And we're going to get ourselves this Brandt trailer. We are going to get the gooseneck style, because we can save ourselves that much more money. So just like that, 14 grand down, we have ourselves a trailer to haul seed, fertilizer, round bales, and I adjusted. The nice part about this mod, you guys, I can adjust the straps for this thing for round bales specifically. So for right now, we have a way to harvest all of our corn. We don't have soybean yet. We'll worry about that in a minute. We have alfalfa taken care of, at least as far as we know, completely right now. So we're fine in that route. Now, we do need some way, shape, and form to pick up our bales. And I was kind of eyeing up this here mod. I believe this one was in-game as well. So 35 grand later, we've got a skid steer. Now we need some way to pick up bales. We also, I think, will need a bucket, but as for cheap as it is for these buckets, that was kind of the other reason why I went that route. Super cheap bucket. It looks kind of small, but that's okay. We need a bale spear. And I don't know, looking at the price. Now, in the past, I've usually honestly just used a pallet fork to just stab into the bales, but you can also go the opposite route and use a bale spear for picking up pallets. I think we're just going to go this route. 600 bucks. We can pretty much do everything we need to do with moving pallets and so on. So there we go. We have ourselves set up for alfalfa. Again, we might have some additional cost, but that's okay. We'll stick with it for right now. Just kind of a small setup. And we got ourselves a truck, a trailer, and a skid steer. So I'm going to go ahead. We're going to get some of this equipment put away here. Just give me a little bit. I'll get back to you guys. We currently have $126,000 left. I don't want to take out too much of a loan. And we know that we have money coming in because it's fall. I think we're going to do it. I think we need some old iron on this farm, and I think it would work great when it comes to, I don't know, doing hay, especially with the smaller equipment. Plus, we got the duals on the 8410. I think we're going to do it. Let's go shopping some more. And just like that, 71 grand gone. Ouch. I didn't quite mean to spend that much, but it's a 44.55. We had to, but here we go. All right, we have the combine fired up. We're gonna get our steering assist set up here. Okay, there we go. We got that set up. Now we're gonna go ahead, get ourselves into the field. We're gonna have to make sure that our swath is working. All right, there it is. We're dropping corn stalks, and hopefully everything is working properly with the baler that we selected, y'all. And the only reason why I say that is, well, you guys, this is a beta map still. We have to be cautious about that sometimes just certain mods that you're using aren't always going to work with how the map is set up. So hopefully we didn't make a mistake with buying the cheaper, smaller round baler. I'm really hoping that just plays in our favor with saving money and working with the corn stalks and soybean bales. I'm hoping, and well, we're just gonna have to learn the hard way here, depending on what's going on. But we're gonna test it out in due time. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep corn harvesting here for a little bit. And as we're getting around the first end row, we're just about full. We're 98% right now. I'm honestly really impressed as I just get full here. I'm gonna try and, oh boy, we're gonna have to try and squeeze the tractor in here. I might have to run over a couple of rows, which is okay, but I'm really impressed with this gleaner. I got the extension on this thing and I almost made it entirely around. You guys can kind of see up there where it started, which is kind of up by the tractor. But we're gonna hop in the 8410 here. Y'all, this is a good looking unit. I think we'll be okay if we can make it that far. I'm actually just gonna drive straight in here, try to just get the combine unloaded, just being as careful as I possibly can to not run over too much. And there we go. I had to kind of run over a bit more corn. Didn't necessarily want to fill this back one up first, but we also don't really have to move the carts all that far, so this should work. Honestly, I'm pretty happy though. That extension on here with the 8-row was kind of a nice setup. I'm not gonna lie, with the size of this field being as big as it is, it's rather big, and I made it almost all the way around on that one tank. So for being a small combine, it's not quite so painful. I'm actually pretty happy with it, and I'm pretty happy with the fact that we still have that 53 grand sitting in our account at the moment with no debt. If we can do it, y'all, I would like to see if we can go debt free on this build. Just don't know if it's going to quite play in our favor. I hope it does, but never know. We might have to down the road. But for right now, we're going to do everything we can to try and stay out of debt as best as possible. But we're going to keep going. We're going to get some more enderos knocked out and try to get some of this work done here for you all. I did just want to point out as well, I'm kind of noticing some things. I was trying to get some progression going on this, but I just can't help myself. We are, well, moving slow, and that's okay. We're going to expect that here at the start. But I wanted to point out some little details with the MRG's map here so far that I'm really enjoying. First off, if you all have been playing the base game of FS25, the textures, although beautiful, I will give it that, on the crops when it is harvest season, I kind of had some quarrels with them at the start. Just for the base game, something was a little off, and a lot of it being like the soybeans, the textures of the soybeans when they're ready to harvest, they still have some leaves on them, which isn't quite right. Same with corn. Corn had a little bit more green than I would like. MRG went ahead and did some custom textures, kind of bringing it back from the older versions of Farm Sim with getting the corn textures just a bit drier. I did want to go ahead and look at the textures on the ground. I'm going to zoom in here as best I can. Just the textures on the ground and the field compaction from the tires, so far exceptional. Really enjoying it. Again, I really like the corn stalk bales that we have those in here. We can do soybean bales. I'm really liking this so far. I'm loving these textures. I'm loving just things that were brought. Even I would argue we were seeing some of these things with modding back in FS19, seeing some of it in 22 and now 25 of just that ground compaction. I love that when I'm running duels on a combine through the field harvesting, that we're getting that compaction behind the tires. This is awesome. I am really enjoying this. I hope you guys are enjoying the Ashton Corners map as well. Hopefully you're playing along with me. I'll go ahead as well. I'll post MRG's HIO. I did a map tour of this. If you guys haven't seen that video, go to my channel, check out that video. But I will put, because I had MRG's YouTube listed, I'm gonna put that HIO link for you all in the description. Go check it out. It is the public beta. There are things, again, it's still a beta. There's things that MRG is working on for this map. He had kind of a good list that just general issues that people were sort of having. Again, you're gonna see that with a beta. It's not fully polished. He's working to try and bring a lot of quality things to life for you in FS25, and with that, obviously, and MRG paying attention to the details like he does, it's going to take time. Please be patient with that man. He is bringing you all some incredible maps. I've got more additional farm tours that I'm going to be doing on some of the other maps that he already has that are in alpha state. Pay attention to the channel. Those videos are going to be coming soon. But if you all are patient with them, and again, like getting access to the alphas and some of those other things, they are behind a like Patreon. If you do the Patreon with MRG, then you get access in the Discord, and you can help him with like map testing and things like that, where you can check out these maps. I'm just going to do tours on them so you all can see and get excited for the maps that are coming for FS25 here in the future. But so far for this map, coming from 22 into 25, although it's still a beta state, really enjoying it thus far with a little bit that I've done so far on it with testing. And just as an update as well, if you are enjoying this playthrough version, this type, kind of how I'm doing this series so far in this episode, let me know by dropping a thumbs up down there below, liking this video, and leave me a comment. Let me know how you're feeling about this series thus far. I kind of wanted to do a casual roleplay-esque sort of video on just sort of playing through, and at the end here, if you pay attention to all the videos that are coming, I'd like to do each season, or each year if you will, as sort of a season. The first one may or may not be about a year and a half or so. We'll see. We'll kind of see how they play out, but these videos are going to be a little bit longer. Hope that you enjoy those as well, and we're going to kind of collab them together at the end for seasons as we progress and grow through this farm. and see if we can achieve our initial goal of just growing a very successful dairy farm here on Ashton. That way you all can watch long form videos at the end of each season as well, kind of mosh pit them together. So let me know if you guys are excited for that down in the comment section as well. And just like that, we're not 100%, but we're close enough. Both of these wagons are pretty well full, and honestly a great combo for doing pretty much two whole end rows on our field so far. Each end row has been a full wagon, so yields are looking pretty gosh darn good so far. We're gonna test out this new grain system here on Ashton, and so far looking really good. Let's test it though. Now taking a look, we are in our production tab here. We do have working harvest stores here on site, which is really good. I'm excited for that. So eventually we can use our alfalfa windrows without drying them. We can set them up in our harvest stores. Looks like we got grass and chaff as well, but we're gonna go look in here. Now I'm seeing dry corn. Now the mineral feed storage, that makes sense. If I hop out of the tractor real quick, I kind of noticed this while doing the map tour, and like I said to you all, I haven't fully tested everything. I've been doing some things here and there. I have been rather busy still, but this makes sense. This bin right here is most likely our mineral feed, but that kind of makes sense for TMR. This is sort of a mixing shed to be able to unload your mineral feed for TMR in here. But just looking at this, it's saying dry corn. So we're going to take a look here in the finances and let's see if I missed something. Yeah, I'm just not seeing it. I'm seeing corn, but just scrolling through here, I have not found yet, other than this symbol down here. Where was it? Somewhere around here, right there, missing type, where it's saying it doesn't have it says dry corn, and that might have been for me deactivating the mod though too, so just keep that in mind. But either way, going back to the productions tab, we're gonna let this ride though, y'all. It's got to be built into the map, and it looks like it is production site with our grain bin. So it looks like as we're putting corn in, which we now have 11,499 liters just from the one wagon, we got to unload the next one, but it looks like it's a 1-to-1 ratio. For 100 corn we get 100 corn. And just coming back up, maybe it is kind of a drying thing where it's just not like listing it here, but my presumption just from kind of guessing is we're just gonna have to take it as it is what it is. The symbol is what it is, and corn is corn, and it's quote unquote drying. We're just gonna take it as it is, but we have everything set for storing. That's what we want. We don't want to necessarily sell from here. We could just sell directly in that month, let it ride out, but I think delivering it would be more fun, just kind of getting more hands-on with it anyway. So we're gonna leave this alone. We have this activated here, so let's hop back up in the tractor. We got one more to unload. There we go, getting that unloaded, and let's we'll see. We might finish another end row here, but otherwise I'd also like to kind of get going on some alfalfa so we can get that on here as well today. All right, so with end rows done, I'm gonna want to bale those end rows, kind of get those corn stalks out of the way so we can continue on with that field. So in the meantime, I've already got the mower hooked up. We're gonna go knock out some acres with mowing just so we can kind of get some of the alfalfa down, ready to go, so we can get to drying and baling those bales to get those sold up as well. So we're gonna start on this top strip, and we're gonna get to going on our alfalfa. All right, so as we're finishing up the grass field, we only got a couple passes left here. Honestly, hasn't been bad. Really enjoyable, going about 13, 14 like I said earlier. These grass fields are pretty nice. I am noticing they are a little bit bumpy. We might have to, I do have a mod on for like free landscaping. We might have to just kind of hit them with a little bit of a smooth out. I'm just noticing some bouncing going on with this mower. I don't know if it's necessarily like a mower thing. We're gonna find out, because I do want to jump over. I want to test out the alfalfa as the grass. It's looking like it's pretty good, but it looks kind of skimp as well. Makes me a little bit worried, right? So we definitely want to TED this and get a good amount of bales off of this. But we might want to look into this, because if something's going on, I think the alfalfa might do us better than the regular hay bales. And if that's the case, we just might want to maybe rip up this field. Now in real life, you'd probably be able to just direct drill alfalfa in, but it's a farming simulator. This should be considered a field, and we might have to do some tillage on this and then seed down some alfalfa. So make sure you comment down below. Let me know, should I maybe take these strips of grass and convert them and maybe change them over to alfalfa fields? You guys let me know down in that comment section. But we're gonna leave the mower unfolded here. We're gonna come on up now. I do want to point out something rather critical. And earlier I actually ran through this freestall barn. It was off camera, but I think we already have some cattle. So coming in, I do kind of want to check this out. Holsteins, 50 months. Yeah, it looks like we actually, when we bought the farm, it looks like we have 30 head, and I know you can't see it, it's off to the left hand side, but this is our main dairy. Pigsty, nothing. Heifer shed has 30, main dairy 30. Again, pigsty. So the pigs, we have none, but we have 30, 60, 90. We have 90 head of cattle already. I am not ready for that yet. This might be a cheat, so bear with me. But I think we're gonna shut down the 4450 here quick, and I think we're gonna go find the triggers, and I think we're actually just going to sell the cattle and then buy them back later. I think we're gonna just come in here. Let's see. Maybe this is a cheat. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this, but we got 30 in the freestall barn already. Yeah, we could be making some money coming in from milk. Don't get me wrong, but we don't really have much for straw yet, and I haven't tested if we can use the corn stalk bales as straw for bedding, and we'd have the additional cost of mineral feed for making TMR, because the best way to feed out your cattle, although you can just feed them hay and they'll be 100% completely okay in farm sim, I always tend to want to give them that TMR, which is a mixture of everything, and well, I think it's too early. So we're going to sell. We're going to get $11,500 back in our pocket there. I think the better thing to do here is going to be in the future, get these cattle and get them back as calves so that we can just start with feeding them hay at the beginning, at least as just calves. I think that's going to be the better route. Now, I really want to keep you guys. These are Holsteins. I think if we do keep anything at all, I'd like to feed them just hay and maybe just do like beef at the beginning. Let's get them sold. It gives money back in our pocket, and I'm kind of liking that more right now, right off the bat. Now we're back up to $76,982, and again, I don't know, maybe this is the wrong thing, but just to keep us a little bit more stress-free at the beginning, giving us that money back, I think this is going to work out better. We can buy our cattle back as calves and raise them from calves. So just like that, we got ourselves about, what is that, about 35 grand or so back into our pocket. Honestly, I'll take that right now. And maybe that was wrong of me to do. Maybe I should have just kept the cattle, but I'm not gonna lie to you, I'd rather have that about 35 grand back into my pocket at the moment, because, well, we need to make money first. We need to be able to have a strong established foundation, and if I don't have like a chopper or some sort of way to get chopping done with silage right now and things of that nature, now I could just feed them hay. Yes I could. I'd like to do that though. I'd like to work back to where we are just buying calves. That way they're considerably cheaper. We can raise them from the ground up, feed them hay at the beginning. That way it's a little bit cheaper as we're working up and getting that equipment that we need to be able to properly take care of our cattle, give them that 100% boost with getting that TMR fed out to them. But to do that, we need more equipment, and well, we still have toilage equipment to get. We still have planter, a seeder to get, a roller. So we want to make sure that our fields are taken completely care of, seed, fertilizer. It's going to start getting pricey, and I think we just need to start this the way that we are, with a bit of cash cropping first and work our way up. But now, so far, mowing the alfalfa, looks like we're maybe dropping a little bit more than we were with the grass. This is going to kind of be the tell. I know this field is considerably bigger but if we just kind of maybe chunk off or see how much we are getting for bales off of our alfalfa, it just might be the play to maybe plow or till up those grass fields and convert them over to alfalfa. Not to mention, this alfalfa is in a harvest ready state, and just taking a look at it, there is a little bit of budding. It's not like that bright purple. It's still beautiful though. I do like the alfalfa considerably more than grass, so I do like that is in this map and available for us to use. Now, the other thing that I'm kind of noticing is the textures of the alfalfa as it's dropping. It almost already looks like dry grass in a way. However, we do know from 22, it did convert over to 25 from Farm Sim, that in order for us to have hay, we do have to dry it using some sort of a tedder. So I am kind of excited as well to test out that rake, see if it's a 2-for-1, if we can rake the windrows together and ted them at the same time. That's going to save us a considerable amount of time. Instead of having to mow, go back through the field, ted, and then come back through and windrow, if we can hit that all in one shot, rake it together and ted it, that's going to work exceptionally on this farm for efficiency. All right, so the one thing that I am noticing, y'all, that I think I finally figured it out, the little jumping that's been going on. I'm wondering if it's from this connection. I've been trying to mess around with it on the tractor, between the tractor and the mower. Maybe it's not quite. I was thinking that maybe it was because of the 3-point hitch kind of being low, if that was dragging and hitting, but that doesn't seem to honestly be it. As much as I'm enjoying this mower, that right there, that bouncing that you guys can see, it's kind of bugging me. I'm almost wondering if we look at that little bit cheaper New Holland mower, if that's going to be a better rig or not. Well, tell you what, it's 20 grand. We have 88. We're going to do it. Let's test it out. We're just going to set this mower to the side for right now. See if we like that other one a little bit better. I think that's going to end up being the play though. If it doesn't do that bouncing, or if it is doing it, then I'm just going to keep the John Deere, sell the New Holland. Well, just from getting back up here, I'm not going to lie to you guys. We can cover 4 meters with this mower, and we can go either side. I don't know. The New Holland might be the better choice. And it was honestly 20 grand over the 22 grand for that other mower. And overall, I mean, 1 meter difference is not a lot, but if we can go, and we are going the same 13 14 mile an hour, somewhere in there with this 4455, and we're a meter wider, and we're gonna kind of just nestle in for a little bit and do a few more rows. What I'm most curious about though is that bouncing, that jumping that was going on. It wasn't really looking too legit on that John Deere. I think the mower might have just been a bit too low. So far, much better. So 67 grand is what we came down to. Let's go sell that mower. But as we keep rolling here, we're going to go ahead. We're going to crank on the tunes, keep on mowing the alfalfa. I'm going to catch up with y'all once we're done. All right, as we're finishing the last pass or so here on this field, we're probably going to call this one a video. So I hope that you all enjoyed, and if you did, make sure you let me know by tapping that thumbs up button. And of course, if you haven't yet subscribed here to the King May YouTube channel, make sure you go ahead and you do that for me now. But make sure you also turn that notification bell on, because we are going to continue on with this one. On the next episode, we're going to have some baling that needs to get done, and of course some corn harvest that's coming up. So we're going to continue with this chapter as far as seeing whether or not we can make a successful large dairy farm on Ashton Corners. So for now, we're going to call this one a video, but I will catch you all on the next one. Peace.